A lot of people would know the both of you from Hillsong Church. You guys have consistently written beautiful songs. Mighty to Save, What a Beautiful Name, Cornerstone. Are you guys able to peel the curtains back? Take us into the writing room for a second. How do you produce banger after banger?
Great songs are normally written in between a lot of really average songs, and sometimes even quite bad songs.
So your worst song, the goal is for that not to be as bad as it was 3 years ago. I would say for anybody who's writing worship music or Christian music, community is such a key part of that process.
How do you collaborate?
You can't guarantee that you're going to have the best idea or that you're going to even be the most talented person in the room, but you can commit to being diligent. And I think the people that are really effective over the long term at collaborating are people that...
So what kind of things have you learned the past couple of decades in that worship pastor role?
It's a privilege, but it's also a great responsibility.
Kind of having a filter for how do we choose songs for church is really important. I always think in terms of 3 markers. So first,
you were both under Darlene Zschech's leadership. How was that? What was that like?
Darlene was an awesome mentor. She was brilliant. I remember one specific conversation with her when, Darlene, anytime you want to give me feedback about worship leading, please, just anything you have. And she's like...
You have started your own band, your own collective called Commons. Can you explain a little bit about the heart of Commons worship?
For us, Commons worship really is just, in so many ways, an extension of what we have been doing for years. With that intention to go, let's write the songs that help the church sing.
What would you frame success as?
I think your question is a good one because...
Hey, welcome to the For the Glory podcast, where we spotlight what God is doing in the music industry all around the world. We talk music, culture, and the kingdom. We hope you enjoy. Hey friends, today on the pod, I am joined by Ben Fielding and Reuben Morgan, who together make up Commons Worship. These men are not only 2 of the most beautiful souls, but also 2 of the most influential worship songwriters that have ever graced our generation, with credits including Goodness of God, Mighty to Save, Cornerstone, Who You Say I Am, What a Beautiful Name, and so many more. And on this episode, we chat through their decades of ministry, the true responsibility that it is to shape theology through worship music, and the current vision behind Commons Worship, to serve the global church with songs that are grounded in Scripture. So sit back, send this to a Christian music friend, and enjoy.
What an honor to be here with you guys. You have both together and separately shaped the landscape of the worship scene for the past 2-3 decades. And so it is such an honor to be here at this table with you. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks
and
for having us.
I also want to take this moment to thank you for the shout out in Mighty to Save, in the bridge of Mighty to Save.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall, but you included our business name. Do you?
Yeah, for the glory. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's very
Shine your light
intentional.
in,
For the
let
glory.
the whole world see. We're singing for the glory.
We're singing for the glory.
So, I don't know. I think I should take the royalties of that song
Unfortunately,
potentially.
Reuben trademarked it at the time, so we actually need to...
We're going for the glory. It's,
No
it's a
way.
different conversation, yeah.
That's great.
Nah, it's a pleasure.
That's so
Happy
funny.
to help in any way we can.
So funny. But seriously, you guys you've impacted so many people's lives and so many churches' lives, like their congregation and the way that you've shaped their theology through music.
Yeah.
So what does that feel like, sitting day to day, you wake up and you just know that in the back of your mind? How do you keep the humility of just being a steward, but also knowing the impact that you've had to so many people? How does that feel?
I think for me, it's a real privilege and honor to get to do what people did for me growing up. I think back to when I was a kid and singing these songs that taught me Scripture, but taught me so much about who God was. And as soon as I picked up an instrument, I wanted to do that instinctively. They were the songs I wanted to learn how to play, and they were the songs that I wanted to write when I started writing. And it's a privilege, but it's also a great responsibility. And you think
Yes,
it really
is.
matters what words and what lyrics and what theology we are putting into the mouths of the people of God when they meet together to worship. And so there's a humbling aspect to that too.
Yeah.
And then I always have taken the view that when people fall in love with a song that you've been a part of writing, I think that they're really falling in love with the subject matter. I hope they are, that they're falling more in love with the Lord. And so you get to play a background role in it. And so I've always sort of had the view, it's not really about us at all. We just get to play a little bit of a part in it. And I pray that that's what people take away from any song that I'm a part of.
I love that heart.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's a complete honor, obviously. And you get reminded of it in different ways all the time, but it definitely, there's so much privilege attached to that. And I don't think that kind of thing could be ever earned. Do you know what I mean? It just feels like, it's a privilege. But then there is that responsibility, which Ben mentioned, where you just, and a conviction really, the church need to be singing good theology, you know, because it really does shape how we think about God. You know, we are so shaped by the songs that we sing and the songs that we sing in church. And so, yes, the privilege, but then also the responsibility as well. And you, every step of the way, you just keep believing for wisdom, don't you? Like you believe for wisdom and that you can carry whatever you're given to do really well. And so, yeah, we're just completely dependent on God.
That's beautiful.
That.
Yeah. Well, before we go into everything you're doing now and with Commons and this amazing collective that you started, I do want to honor those decades and the legacy that you've already created. So, I mean, you guys mentioned having that foundation, theological foundation. Did you have that from the get-go when you first started songwriting? Like when you guys maybe met or did your first song together? Did you already have that framework? Like, had you gone to Bible college, or were you like studying day and night, or like how did that kind of look as you went along in your years?
I mean, I grew up in church, which I feel fortunate to have had that upbringing in. I went to a little Baptist church in Melbourne where I grew up, and I thought that was an amazing environment to learn the scriptures and to learn so much about the Lord. I actually studied physiotherapy and law at university, but I always loved theology. And so I would often be sneaking theology books into my study periods where I probably should have been reading about other things. But I was captivated by the things of God. And that's sort of been a lifelong pursuit. And so I feel like I've always been a student of theology. And then, you know, getting around like-minded people who are really passionate about good theology in the music that we sing, that's been really important to me too. And working with people who are so intentional about their lyrics, or sometimes the music is very much a secondary thing. I love that challenge too. And so I think Reuben and I have shared like a sense of solidarity in that space. When we wrote Mighty to Save, I think you mentioned that song. We sat down and said, what is it that we're going for? And that theme was sort of percolating. And then, so we talk about, well, what does it mean? Like, what's Zephaniah 3 saying? What's it mean for this God who sings over us? He sings this salvation song. What's that? What is that? And so you start teasing that out. And it's almost become my favorite thing about writing songs is just that kind of back and forward with peers and people that I love. It's almost like a moment of devotion where you kind of go, you're learning so much about who God is. And hopefully that then comes out in the intricacies of the lyric.
Yeah.
I grew up in New Guinea. Like my childhood was spent in New Guinea.
So cool.
And then Melbourne, but kind of grew up around missionaries. So learned music from missionaries, piano and guitar when I was really young. So I think that kind of that always sort of accompanied that sort of heart for ministry and for the Lord always accompanied my like learning music and playing music.
Yeah.
I was writing songs from when I was really young as well. So when I sort of really found the Lord for myself, or had that kind of real personal encounter with the Lord, that's sort of when worship music made sense to me. You know, that's sort of when it came alive. And I think I sort of all my passion for music then sort of kind of merged with just that love for the Lord as well. And I wasn't a huge reader growing up, but for some reason, as soon as I started just in a relationship with God, everything changed. And I just read constantly, just went deep into theology books and devotional books and the whole thing. And so it's really interesting kind of seeing the way kind of the Lord used that and those seasons as well as kind of the music and all of that and how he brings everything together. Yeah. It's incredible how God sort of orders our step, lines up our steps. And you realize what he was doing kind of in the after.
I had a question for you specifically about that season when you were at Hillsong, and you were both under Darlene Zschech's ministry, I believe, and her leadership. And then, is this correct? You took over after her in that worship pastor role?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how was that? Like, what was that like? And what season were you in, because you just mentioned like you fell in love with the scriptures, and
Yeah.
how did that affect your songwriting? And
Yeah.
you know I just want to know about that, because I'm also a worship pastor here at this church.
yeah,
and so
okay.
I'm just super intrigued about that leadership role and how that was for you.
Darlene was, she's my mentor, like absolute hero. And
Legend.
yeah, and I feel just really privileged to have had that, you know, just sort of really, it was from 1995.
Crazy.
She's my mentor. So
That's before I was born.
is it?
Yeah.
That's good to know. So
Context.
so
Yeah, wild.
when I started going to Hillsong Church, I sort of had started writing worship music, and we started singing those songs really before I was ready to kind of for any of that. And she was just an awesome mentor. She was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I remember one specific conversation with her that went, Darlene, you know, anytime you want to give me feedback about worship leading or whatever, please, just anything you have. And she's like, okay. And I'm still waiting for that feedback. But actually what she did was pretty much every time she was up leading worship, I was standing next to her. And I didn't realize at the time, but all of those rhythms and those micro decisions, when we're choosing song lists and set lists, all of those things, she included me in all of that. And so I feel like my process for thinking about worship and worship leadership in a huge way was sort of formed by her mentoring me.
Beautiful.
Not specifically, but just along the way. And I'm so grateful for
taking you under her wing, kind
yeah,
of. Like,
absolutely. I was right.
alongside.
Yeah. So super grateful for her. She's a hero.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, you guys aren't just songwriters. There's your worship leaders, but you're also releasing artists. And so has there ever been a season in either of your lives where you've just solely lent into one and you felt like, okay, this is the season where I serve the church only, no releasing, no writing, I'm just going to worship lead? Or yeah, like those kinds of seasons where you've compartmentalized, or has it always been just spinning all the different plates at the same time?
I feel like my life has mainly been spinning plates. And I think sometimes I probably have almost an aversion to the idea of being like all or nothing about things. I think sometimes like creative people can be very romantic and be like, you know, I'm going to go through a season where all I do is write music. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, I just don't operate like that, where I kind of like to think life is full of tension, and the tension actually sometimes makes us better, and it sharpens us to do the things that God's put on our life. And if I think about writing songs for people to sing in church, then I feel like I want to do that from a place where I am I'm leading worship, but also where I'm in conversation, I'm working with people in that community, so that I feel like the songs that are coming then feel like they're collective, they're communal, they're not just like, you know, perhaps like the idea of like the solitary author going out into the woods to write worship songs for the church. It's kind of a strange idea to me. And so I think, really grounding creativity in real life and just expecting to meet God in the mundane and the normal things of life. I think that's a beautiful picture of creativity.
100%.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
I think for me, like, they've always gone together. So, you know, from early I was doing rosters and like kind of a lot of that sort of admin and management type side that just went with making team happen. You know what I mean? Like just making church happen on the weekend and making worship happen. Yeah, there is just that side of it. And I've had sort of short seasons where I've done a lot less of it for whatever reason. And I've always come back to taking on those sort of roles for whatever reason. And I think some of my most effective times have been when you are juggling both. You're right in the trenches with people and making things happen, but you're also finding time to write. And you know, we were doing tours and those things as well. Somehow they all work. It's a full life, but I don't know. It's always been sort of part of the same thing for me, for better or for worse. But that's definitely how it is. And I think that the community side of it, the sort of making church happen, running Sundays, I think it really does inform kind of the ministry of songwriting as well, the songs, because we're writing for real people that we know. And when you're connected that way, I think it does make a difference.
And I think one of the things that I would say to encourage like creatives and writers is that I think we always have that feeling like if we could just have a little bit more time to write, or a little bit more space, or a slightly better space even to, like physically to write in, or it would be easier. And I'm actually not sure that that's even true. I think sometimes like there is that tension side of it actually brings something out of us, and not having all of the time that we might like forces us to really focus when we do get that moment, or to be really intentional about our writing process. And I just think God can work with all of it if we come to him sort of with open hands and a real desire to create something that is going to matter.
Yeah,
100%. Totally. The idea of kind of writing music in a vacuum, or just like an enclosed sandbox space is not like, it doesn't feel practical, especially when you're trying to actually minister to people, or even like empower people to kind of live their lives for God, you know? And so I think being in community is super key to all of that, and not isolating in that way. So I would say for anybody who's writing worship music or Christian music, community is such a key part of that process.
100%. Are you guys able to peel the curtains back and share with us when the music started becoming your career? And so like, were you juggling other jobs trying to tour, or were you like, were you guys able to, with the songs that you had already released, then give your full yes to writing and all of that?
Yeah, I was working as a physiotherapist.
You were? And
I started traveling with Reuben, and I kind of had to make this decision about which one I was going to prefer, because it just didn't work, like from a scheduling point of view. But the juggle was real. I was trying to kind of extend both for as long as I possibly could. And then it really was a bit of a leap of faith to kind of go, I'm going to just focus on music. And I still did the odd little bit of physio. And again, that would be an encouragement, I think, particularly for young creatives. And if I'm talking to like people who are married or they have families, just to take that responsibility and that calling really seriously as well. And to look after the people that God's put in your life. And then also trust him to go, if this is something that he's calling me to as well, like from a creative point of view, or touring, or whatever it looks like, to just trust that there's going to be a way to do that where you can honor the responsibilities that are on your life as well.
That's good,
Yeah, and just to step it out and not feel like you have to rush it, because life is long. And you know, I think if I've learnt one thing along the way, it would be that you don't want opportunities that God hasn't put in front of you. And so don't strive for them, don't try to grasp for them, but there's an element of trust that, and then the end result puts us in a better place with the Lord, and a better place with the people that he's put in our lives.
Yeah, walk with his grace for it. I love that. It's beautiful. In terms of stewarding your gift well, and maybe for people listening who are juggling other jobs, how much discipline would you say is needed to steward the gift that the Lord has given you? And what does that look like practically? How does that look like now in the current seasons you're in with Commons? You know, you mentioned you were pastoring at a church, or you were leading at a church, and you both are very involved with your local church. So then your day-to-day, what does that look like, and how should people be applying themselves to something that they feel like God has called them to do?
I think everybody's different, right? And probably simple answer is we need to believe for wisdom for the season that we're in, you know, and to be faithful with it, to be diligent with what we've got to work with at the time, and not let go of the things that are actual priorities. Like Ben mentioned, you know, like family is just such a key thing to everything, right? I'm a dad, I've got 3 kids, and family is absolutely everything, you know, and so it doesn't matter how busy you get, nothing beats family, you know. And so making it all work is just, I don't know, I think it's just part of the calling, isn't it? But I think that we're given wisdom for it as well.
And there's something to be said, I think, for like intentionality when it comes to discipline. And like when we think about, say, like collaborating with somebody else, with a group of people, there is that really fun part, which is just let's get in a room and see what happens. And and when there's a creative flow, there's some of the best moments of songwriting. But then there's all of the like sort of hard work part, the crafting, the editing, staying good on your comms with the other people that you're working with to try to, and they're all disciplines. And I think it's important to keep growing in all of those aspects as well. So, you know, you can't guarantee that you're going to have the best idea or that you're going to even be the most talented person in the room, but you can commit to being diligent and be disciplined and to be hardworking and, you know, to follow through. And they're just all good life principles. And I think they all come out in every aspect of life, but they really come out in the music collaboration space as well.
100%. Yeah. A lot of people would know the both of you from Hillsong Church and your time there. But now you have started your own band, your own collective called Commons, and actually for the first time today appearing as Commons Worship without the X's. There used to be X's in place of the O's.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about that name change and also just about the heart of Commons Worship?
Yeah, we really wanted to simplify.
Yeah.
Core to why we exist as Commons Worship is to create accessible songs for church to sing, for people to worship. And, you know, simple is often better than clever. And we realized that, you know, the X's we loved because X is like the ancient symbol for Christ. And so it's Christ in common. It looks cool. There's a great story behind it. But we just found like it was a stumbling block for people. They were like, what does it mean? How do you say it? How do you you ask Siri to play CXMMX and then it gets confused.
And you try and search it and then it wouldn't come up.
If Siri's confused, then, you know, we're all confused. And so we were like, no, let's just do what we do with songs. Let's simplify it. Let's make it really easy, really accessible. And then we're still going to use the CXMMX in us because we think it looks cool. That'll be on like some artwork. It'll be on some of the things that we put out. But it just makes it so much easier. And we also know like there's people that we're really passionate about reaching and helping in parts of the world where, you know, Commons worship is a second language or a foreign language. We don't want to make it even more complicated.
More foreign,
So
that's fair.
yeah, that's the real heart behind it, is to make it more accessible to reach more people.
I love that.
100%. Like our ethos is about removing barriers for people to worship. And so we realized the X's, when we realized that they were a bit of a barrier, just get rid of them. So then it's, hey Siri, play Commons Worship, and it should happen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And by the way, too, like adding worship, I know there's a lot of bands around that have worship in their name. And so initially we were like, oh, we don't want to just, like, it doesn't want it to feel like it's overdone. But then we're like, at the same time, it really helps to kind of just explain straight up what it actually is, and what our heart is. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so you guys work together with Commons, and do you have like a specific band that you always minister with or record with? Or is it new every time? And the people that you collaborate with, like, how does that kind of look for Commons?
Yeah. It's been flexible a little bit, but there's some great people.
And our heart really is to keep bringing more people into that orbit.
Yeah.
Core to it is the idea that, and we were both fortunate enough to have people that really championed us when we were young in our songwriting, young in our worship leading. And so we want to be able to give back in that space as well, and you know, just believe that God will keep bringing people into our world that we can kind of maybe even just create an opportunity for them to grow and to keep using what God's put on their life, and hopefully that sets them on a trajectory of their own. That's amazing. And so we've got super open hands with Commons. We care obviously diligently about curating that space and finding really great gifted people who love the Lord, but then we're really open-handed with what God wants to do from there.
I love that. You're almost taking like that Darlene Zschech role and playing that for other people now.
You realize you get to a point in a career or whatever, and it feels like we're at that point where we do kind of have the opportunity of just helping people the way we were kind of the same way, you know? So if that's possible, then brilliant, you know, the idea of like young and fresh and, you know, people that have the anointing of God on their life and the gifting of God on their life. You really want to champion that. And I think that feels like a really cool position to be in.
I love that.
For a lot of years, we were in a great sort of collaborative songwriting community. And so as much as we would run like sort of training on like songwriting, and we'd have those sessions at conferences and things like that. And I think they're there's a place for them. It's meaningful.
Totally.
I think a lot of the best input you can have with a younger songwriter is actually just writing a song.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Reuben was saying about there's that osmotic component where you just do it and you learn things, you pick up things in the room. And that works both ways, because when you work with somebody who is writing music in a different way or hasn't been writing music for very long, they do things differently.
Yeah.
So it stretches you as well. And so we've done that for a lot of years, and we want to just keep doing that. For us, like Commons Worship really is just in so many ways an extension of what we have been doing for years already.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see like artists like Danny Marchio and Bella Taylor Smith and Callie and just the incredible people you've collabed with.
Yeah.
The first question is, how do you collab? Say, for example, maybe there's an artist or a producer, and they're filling in a little bit of a silo, and they're like, I don't know how to reach out. I mean, obviously you guys have years of relationship behind you, but what would you say is like best practice? Like, this is how you secure a really good collab that makes sense for the project, makes sense for everyone's tones and vocals, and what are your thoughts there?
It's an interesting question. I think it just starts with the people around you, and just being up for writing with, actually just being up for the collaborations. And then, I think beyond that, kind of depends what you're going for, because proximity is a real thing.
Grow a bit of boldness too, because it is a bit uncomfortable the first time you kind of sit with somebody and you try to create something from nothing. There's a vulnerability there.
Definitely.
And so some of that is just growing into that space. And then even sometimes, I like what Reuben said, that starting with the people in your community, but sometimes it's reaching out a little bit beyond that. And going, actually, it'd be really cool. I love what they're doing. And I'd just love to see what would happen if we sat in a room and tried to write or create something. And so sometimes it's just the boldness to kind of reach out and just, zero pressure. But if you wanted to like ever write, and then it's amazing what comes of just those little moments, or if you bump into somebody at an event or something, and just having that mindset to go, I just need to be more open-minded and open-handed.
Sure.
Be a cool thing to do though, wouldn't it? Like to create sort of environments where people like who maybe do feel like they're on their own a bit, or they're from a really small church, they don't know too many people, could kind of come into a bigger environment and be sort of like collabing with people. Maybe that could be part of the Commons community thing, be fun.
That would be so cool.
We hear about that need a little bit, so being able to create forums where that can happen, I think could be really fun. It's the kind of thing Commons be all about.
Yeah, you guys have dreams for that
Definitely,
kind of thing? So explain Commons community.
Commons community at the moment, like you can sign up to be part of it.
Just click the link right here. And the heart there is that part of what we feel really called to do is to write songs that help worship leaders and help worship teams. But there's all the things that happen around that too that we want to be able to speak into and just create a place that is hopefully helpful. And then what we're moving towards doing with Commons Worship is basically a song of the month. So we don't know exact details, but say it's the first Friday of every month, there'll be a new song from Commons.
Wow.
And then there'll be devotional content around that. There'll be some teaching. There'll be some things that hopefully just help worship pastors, help worship leaders and team, because as you said, sometimes it can feel lonely. Like when you're running a team of people, you might be, they say sometimes it's lonely at the top when you're trying to, make something happen. And so we want to be a support for people in that space, but also hopefully a place of inspiration for people who are serving on their local worship team. And I talk to lots of people that do that, and they're like, I just would love somewhere to go where I could just hear something about what I do that helps me to step up to the next level. So if we can help in that way and bring in great friends and people that we know who are doing great things and have them also come and speak into the Commons community, that's something that we're really passionate about building from here.
Totally.
Cool.
And really like a big part of like our heart for what this is to serve worship pastors, worship leaders, and just kind of help make their life easier. And if that can be a song every month that feels like this is going to be easy to bring to the congregation, it's going to work, and it's going to kind of lift the atmosphere, all the things that you go for in a good worship song, then that would be amazing. But then also Commons community and sort of bringing people into that as well, be kind of, the dream.
That's incredible. That's so exciting that you guys are stepping forward to do that, and so needed, especially And I mean, it sounds global to me, but in the Australian scene here in Australia, if you're watching, we are in Sydney right now. But yeah, such a gift to the bride of Christ. So thank you for putting your hand up and doing that. I think that's really cool. So you said one song a month.
Yep.
A new song each month.
Yeah.
So how are you guys setting yourself up practically for that? Like, have you got the songs already and then you just like kind of drip feed them? Or, I mean, what's the strategy?
Yeah, so we've got a good collection of songs already. So that's why I feel like I can say with some confidence, we're going to have a song a month.
Awesome.
But then there's obviously a lot more to write. And we'd love to keep that cadence going.
Yeah.
And in part, like, I think as a worship leader, there's so much music around. And so it's not like we don't have... we're kind of almost oversaturated in some ways. And so hopefully we're not just adding noise to that space. But at the same time, I think over time, we'd like to think that we could just build trust with worship leaders, worship pastors, and go, look, this is a place where you know you're going to find every month something that you can sing and lead. And like Reuben said, I think a good worship song can be like a worship leader's best friend. You know, the songs that you hop up and you lead and they sound good when you hear them, but you go to sing them and nobody else sings along and you're like, what happened there?
Like, did it serve the church at all? Or were you just picking it because it's your favorite?
Or the difference between doing that and something like a Cornerstone or a Holy Forever, and you start singing a song like that and the church start drowning you out singing back, and you're like, okay, well, they're the songs we need to be leading and singing, and hopefully they're the songs that we can write as, you know, as worship leaders and songwriters, that with that intention to go, let's write the songs that help the church sing.
Awesome.
That's good. So cool. Yeah, like it's such an interesting day that we're in, because I think a lot of worship pastors, worship leaders are discovering songs on TikTok or Instagram, which is cool, or Reels or whatever, and super impressive when you are seeing it in that context. Is actually really cool and can be really inspiring. But I think kind of having a filter for how do we choose songs for church is really important, and part of the responsibility of what kind of we do as worship pastors. And I always think in terms of theologically. So first, like, should we be singing it? So is the song telling the truth? Is a good rule of thumb. Can we sing it? Because not every song, you might have a song that is rich theologically, but you can't sing it. The church can't sing it. And maybe it sounds great, but it's hard to lead, and then the church don't know how to follow along. They're just going to watch. So that's fine, but it's not ideally what you want. And the other one is, do you want to? Like, is it a beautiful song? Is it more than just like function, but is it just kind of amazing on its own? And so kind of having those three markers, and we're hopefully trying to hit all of those every month.
I mean, I think you have been hitting.
Yeah, you can let us know, just thumbs up, thumbs down on those three.
I'll let you know. Yeah. That's so cool. I mean, can you take us into the writing room for a second and explain, how do you produce banger after banger? Like, how do you, because some people, it's just like a one-hit wonder kind of thing, and they stumble across gold.
Yeah.
But you guys have consistently written beautiful songs, and not just lyrically, but sonically. And so where does that start for you guys? And what does it look like to collab together in this Commons project when you're writing together?
Hey, thanks so much for tuning into this conversation. We hope you have been blessed by it. If you want to hear the rest of the conversation, I want to invite you to Glory Gather, because we have exclusive podcast segments over there. Now, what is Glory Gather? Glory Gather is an online community for Christians in the music industry to be developed and discipled. On Glory Gather, you'll have access to things like Show and Tell, which is where we put our masterclasses. We have live streams. We have different group chats, demo feedback. It doesn't matter where you are in your career. You don't even need to be a musician. If you are passionate about the music industry and you have friends in the music industry and you just want to get amongst them, if you're a manager, this community is for you. It's called Glory Gather. It is live. You can head to glorygather.wearefortheglory.com. Our links are on all our platforms as well, to sign up and become a member. I hope to see you there.
That's so encouraging, guys. Amazing. And I would love to know, you've been name dropping a few artists, and For the Glory loves to platform good Christian music, whatever genre. It can be worship, it can be R&B, it can be pop, it can be rap. Are there any artists, lovers of Jesus, that are currently inspiring you both, that you could put our audience onto?
Okay, well, I'm just going to give a little local shout out to Ethan Beer.
Ethan Beer.
I think he's awesome. We got to hear him live recently, and he's very talented, and you just get a picture like there's really big things in store for him.
100%.
And then like I love called out music who we were talking about before, and then like friends overseas like Benjamin Hastings and Aiden. I think they're just doing really great work. And obviously I'm not discovering them here live on the pod. They've been doing that for a long time, but they're doing some really exciting things. And I just love seeing that too, that where there's sort of a second evolution and iteration, and there's some amazing music about to come out.
Yeah, some of my favorite music that's out there at the moment is like Abby Gamboa. What she's doing is really cool.
Yes.
I still think that album with her and Aiden is just amazing.
Stunning.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a really cool album. I love what Aiden and Hastings are doing at the moment. That's really good stuff as well. And so I think there's a lot to kind of dive into. We're in a really great season as far as new music when it comes to Christian music and worship music. There's some really good stuff out there. Yeah. And it's expanded a lot. The if you call it if it's a genre, that genre has grown so much. And I think that's good. That's really cool.
Have you guys ever been in separate projects, like whether it's secular or not worship music? I'm curious to know. Yeah. Can you tell us about those?
I felt like my primary thing in music is to write church songs. That's been the thing I've been most passionate about. If I had to pick one thing to do, that'd be that. Yeah. But then I've also, I love music. I love listening to music. And so I find it really inspiring to work with people in different genres. And so I've got to work on some country stuff, some pop stuff here in Australia as well. And they've all that's been great. Because I've learned things along the way in the process, a slightly different way of doing the same thing. I remember early sort of in writing more pop type stuff, the way that you get into a session, there'd be a producer in the session that's building a track as you're writing. Yeah. We never used to do that at all. We'd sit down with acoustics and try to write worship songs. You're like, well, maybe we can borrow something from that approach. And so I think we are better when we get outside of our own little sort of worlds and we glean from other people, and there's a lot to be learned. There's a lot of strengths out there that we can bring into what we do.
Totally. 100%. And yourself?
I've been pretty focused on worship music. When I was in London, I did a bit with a guy called James Morrison. I think he recorded one of my songs. But
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's definitely it's not been a focus. It's sort of been something along the way for sure.
Another little add-on question. You know how when you write songs and you're coming up with new melodies, do you often find yourself thinking, oh wait, have we done that melody before? Or wait, have we said this lyric in that exact way before? Because you've obviously done such an array of work. And what is that like? And how do you kind of, reconcile there's only so many melodies or there's only so many chord progressions that you can actually work with, and putting out something fresh and new? Yeah. What is that like?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a possibility that you can start treading familiar terrain. Yeah. And so, but I also like to not try to cut that off too quickly. So if you're in a writing session and, everything that somebody sings, someone's like, oh, no, that's that. Whatever. It's just the creative flow is gone. It's, so you kind of shoot down a song before it gets off the ground. And often if you just let it roll for a little bit, you don't even have to say it
somewhere else.
Because it just ends up steering a little bit and you get into a more unique, original space. And so I would say just hold off for a minute and just see what happens. Yeah. And then obviously if you sort of were really locked in on something and you go, hold on a minute, then you just have to have the conversation at some point. And I've had that over the years where I've felt like a song was finished and then shown people, or we've started singing it even, and then somebody's like, oh, hold on, that's somebody else's soul. That's that other. Yeah. And it can feel really hard at the time. You're like, well, I just don't think I could ever write anything that's different to that. That's the best possible way it could be. Yeah. But you just got to keep believing that you actually can. And you go, all right, I'm going to take that little melody out of the chorus because that is one of Reuben's hit melodies. But so you go, okay, well, if it's not that, what else could it be? And now all of a sudden there's this little contained bit of creativity that's got to happen, but there might be 30 other ideas that are maybe even better if you just give yourself the headspace to actually just go back in and have another look.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a good answer.
That's a great answer. You guys were mentioning your community, which is incredible. It's so aligned with something that we're also launching very soon called Glory Gather. And it's basically an online community to help develop and disciple Christians in the music industry.
Cool.
And so what do you think people, what do you hope for in the Christian context that we're in the Christian scene, that people would learn from communities like Commons community, like Glory Gather?
Yeah.
Is there a particular thing that you think like there's a core problem that needs to be solved?
Yeah, well, I think community ticks a lot of boxes, doesn't it? So you want to have that sense of solidarity and build that into, I don't know, into people's lives. We're doing this together. We're in this together. We share a similar ethos and values and whatever, and we're running together. That sense of we're doing that. And then the other side of that is an iron sharpens iron. You know, can we glean something from what you're doing and your years of experience or whatever else, or each other's, and hopefully we all get better together. So
I love that. Very good. Well, what are you guys up to like for the next? What's this next season look like for you? You said you were releasing. We've got some really cool events coming up. I know One Sydney's coming up in June. You guys will be there.
Soon, yeah.
It's exciting.
It's going to be really cool. We're doing the prayer breakfast.
Come on.
City prayer breakfast. That's
heard about that this morning too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then we're headed back to Asia shortly, to Jakarta, Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a few things like that are coming up, and it's just getting the balance right, isn't it? Where it's like we really committed to our monthly Song of the Month.
Yep.
And so like we feel like we're definitely like a songwriting ministry.
Yeah.
But then the opportunity to get out and to sing with the church is
really fun.
It's
good times.
is really close to our heart as well.
Yeah,
so
what a privilege.
there's plenty
That's
of that
beautiful.
coming up.
Yeah. Is that what it should be called? Song of the Month?
Song of the Month. Maybe you should.
I don't know. There's got to be a cooler name.
Yeah.
We're riffing on
Gonna
it.
brand it. Yeah.
It's not quite there yet. Maybe we could workshop it now.
Put it in the
Put it
comments.
in the
That's a
comments.
Yeah,
great.
put it in the
That's a
comments.
great.
Help us.
Thanks, Jess.
Help us help
you guys
you.
should put in the comments what you think that the boys should name their new campaign.
Song of the Month.
Song of the Month sounds right. So good. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been seriously such an honor and a blessing to have you jump on our platform. And all the best for everything that you guys are putting your hands to and
Thank you.
stewarding. I am so excited, and I'm sure everyone watching is really excited to see what the Song of the Month is going to be like, and all
Appreciate
the
it.
other things.
What about
yeah.
if songs had an X in it instead of
Oh my gosh. So good. Well, yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to the For the Glory podcast. Be sure to check out the show notes to learn more about For the Glory and everything we're doing in the music industry. If you've enjoyed today's episode, we'd love it if you left us a review. It really helps us reach more people for God's kingdom. And if you'd like to partner with us financially to keep this work going, head to our website for more information. Your support is what makes this possible and helps the Christian music scene flourish. We can't wait to catch you on the next episode. Be blessed.